keep bleeding love. I keep bleeding, I keep bleeding love. So, that first one was falsetto. That is usually most people's entryway into their high voice. The second one was head voice. They are not the same thing. We're gonna get into that quickly today, and we're also going to be finding your head voice. Now, from what I can tell, most people are looking to learn head voice for one of these three reasons. And let me know in the comments if this is you, or if you're here for a totally different reason. I'd love to know. Reason number one, you've just heard that head voice is something a singer needs to be able to do. Reason number two, you want to be able to sing mixed voice, and everyone says that you need a solid head voice to be able to do that. And reason number three, your upper range is kind of thin and wispy and you'd like more power up there. Whatever your reason is, I'm gonna get you started on your head voice journey today. Or if you've dabbled already, maybe it's just getting you back on track. Either way, let's get into it. To start, what is head voice? So first up, let's talk about the difference between head voice and falsetto, because opinions are actually quite divided about this. Some like to use them interchangeably, some seem to get them mixed up, and some people are quite particular about it. I probably fall more into camp particular in that I think there is a clear difference between them, and I think it's good to know the difference in principle. Falsetto is generally the airy, breathy, high version of your voice. It has its uses and it has its place. That said, it also comes with its limitations, which is why it's not a catch-all solution at all. There's a clear dynamic limit to falsetto. Push too hard and it'll eventually fail you, and I'll get to why in a minute. It can also be more range limited than other techniques like head or mixed voice. Head voice, on the other hand, will generally be a stronger and more supported register. In contrast to falsetto, it has a very wide dynamic range, and as such can be made to sound a lot like falsetto, which I'm guessing is where some of the mix-ups come from. You'll probably hear it most frequently in classical or more traditional styles, though singers in all genres and styles will tap into it as needed. Okay, I'm gonna get briefly anatomical here. Just 30 seconds, bear with me. The difference between falsetto and head voice actually comes down to what the vocal folds are doing. In falsetto, the folds essentially let go. They're not maintaining full contact, which is what gives falsetto that airy, disconnected quality, and also why it has that dynamic ceiling. Push too hard and it just falls apart. In head voice, the folds are still light and stretched, but they are maintaining contact. There's still chord closure happening. That's what gives head voice its carrying power and that much more dynamic range. Okay, anatomy over, let's get into finding this. Now, before we get into the exercises, I want to give you a sense of what head voice actually feels like from the inside. Because if you don't know what you're looking for, you might actually find it, but not realize that you're there. The first thing you'll notice is that it feels lighter, less grippy, less solid than chest voice. There's less of a sense of your voice coming from your throat or your chest. Instead, you might start to feel vibrations higher up. Back of the skull, top of your head, forehead, around your nose, or the front of your face in general. It moves around a bit depending on pitch, vowel, and with time where you want it to resonate. At least that's how I think about it. It can also feel a little strange at first, maybe a bit fake or disconnected. That's completely normal. It's an unfamiliar sensation because you haven't spent a lot of time here yet. And this brings me to something important, which is going to be a guiding principle for the whole exercise section. We are not going for sound quality today. We're going for sensation. Your job is not to make head voice sound good today. It's to find it, make contact with it, and start getting used to what it feels like. The sound honestly takes care of itself over time with practice and usage. So keep that in mind as we go into the exercises. Stay curious, keep exploring, stay relaxed, and pay attention to what you're feeling rather than what you're hearing. All right, let's find this thing. I'm gonna start with something really simple, which really opened it up for me way back when, and I'm hoping it'll do the same for you: a yawn. And I mean that literally, just a yawn. This is probably the easiest way into head voice because it bypasses all of the instincts that might get in the way. When you yawn, you're not trying to sing, you're not trying to sound good. Your body just opens up and releases. And that opening is exactly the mechanism we want. So here's what I want you to do. Find a comfortable note somewhere in your higher range. Doesn't have to be your absolute top. Just somewhere that feels like it's up there, you know. Take a breath, let your jaw hang loose, and just yawn into it. Don't shape it, don't try and control it, just let it open. Like this. Now, what are you feeling? Where is it making contact? Is it the back of the skull, top of the head, somewhere in your forehead, around your nose? Whatever you're feeling, that's where I want your attention. Not on how it sounds. We talked about that. On where you're feeling it. Where is that resonance happening? Where are you feeling vibration, tickling, something? Try it a few times. Feel free to pause the video at this stage to mess around with it and see how it feels. Next up, a lip trill. If you're not familiar with a lip trill, it's just this. What the lip trill does is equalize your breath pressure, which makes it much harder for your muscles to grip and interfere at the register shift. So we're going to use it to glide upward into that head voice space. Start somewhere comfortable in your mid-range and just glide up. No specific destination, just follow the sensation as it moves higher. Notice where the vibration shifts, if it does. There might be a point where something changes, something feels different, a lightness kicks in, the sensation moves. That's the register. Don't grab at it, don't try and control anything, just follow it. Like this. Have a go at that a few times, and again, feel free to pause to spend some time here. Now, for the third exercise, target practice. This is actually my favorite exercise for making real contact with head voice, especially if the first two felt a little elusive. We're gonna make quick, light contact with it. What does that mean? Short little ooh stabs. Just little flicks of sound. Keep them short and the muscles don't even have time to grip or interfere. Higher voices, we're starting up here. Just stay in this range, light touches, no specific notes to hit. That kind of range. Lower voices, try around here instead. We're just trying to make contact at this point. What does it feel like? Are you cutting through something? Does it feel piercing? Stay with that sensation. Once again, feel free to pause the video and spend some time here. Just for reference, when I'm doing this, this is what it looks like. We don't care about note accuracy, we don't care about pitchiness, it's just about making those light touches with that register. Now, once you've made contact and you're starting to recognize that sensation, see if you can start holding it just a little longer. Not forcing a sustain, just gradually extending the touch each time. Think of it as getting more and more familiar with the feeling, rather than trying to lock it in. The sensation of what this contact feels like is your guide through all of this. Back of the skull, top of the head, forehead, around the nose, somewhere inside maybe. Wherever you feel it, that's where to put your attention. That's how you know that you're in the right place, because the truth is there isn't really a right place because we're just exploring right now. We're just opening it up. We're developing your access. If at any point any of this starts to feel effortful or strained, just come back to the yawn. Just reset. Now, there are a few things that commonly happen when people first start exploring their head voice, so let's talk through them. The first one is cracking. If your voice cracks as you move into that higher range, that's the mechanism switching. That's the register shift happening in real time. It's not a sign that anything went wrong, it's just the gears changing. Keep exploring. The second one is sounding weak or breathy. If what you're getting sounds airy and disconnected, your folds aren't fully coordinating in that register yet. That's just a function of unfamiliarity. It develops with use. The more time you spend up there, the more coordination develops naturally. The third one is sustained collapsing. You make contact, it feels promising, and then it just kind of collapses as you try to hold it. That's usually a sign that you're trying to hold it rather than release into it. If that's happening, come back to the target practice touches and then work your way back to the sustain gradually. A general note that applies to all three: if something isn't working, the answer is almost never try harder. It's usually to go lighter, go shorter, and back to the sensation. So at this point, hopefully you've made contact with head voice, or at least you've started to get a sense of where it lives. Now let's talk about bringing it into actual singing. The instinct for a lot of people is to immediately power it up or use it in a demanding phrase. I'd resist that. What you want to do first is accumulate time in this register. Pick something simple, a melody you already know, a scale, even just a single phrase from a song, and try it in head voice. It'll probably sound different than you expect. That's fine. That's the point. The goal right now is not to sound good in head voice. It's to stop feeling foreign. It's to stop feeling awkward. The more time you spend up there, the more your voice starts to integrate it as a normal part of its range, rather than this strange, unfamiliar territory. And of course, eventually this can lead to more. Head voice is a big part of being able to sing mixed voice, for example. If you came to this video because you eventually want to be able to sing with power across your whole range, this is where that starts. We'll get into that another time. But for now, just getting comfortable up here is the work. So that's head voice. It's a part of your voice that's always been there. It just takes a little time to get acquainted with it. If it felt strange or unfamiliar today, that's completely normal. That's just what new feels like. The exercises are there to help you accumulate that familiarity. The yawn, the lip trill, target practice. Come back to them. The sensation does get clearer the more time you spend with it. Your job right now is just to keep showing up and exploring. I'm Lydia Renaud, and I'm so grateful you joined me for this lesson. If this was helpful, like the video and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And let me know in the comments how it went. I'd love to hear what you noticed. Tell me.